Let's see the best Town Hall 15 attack strategies after the recent Springtrap update. This one is the easiest and most effective spam strategy at Town Hall 15. While common equipment can work, using this setup will give you the best results. Start the attack by dropping a couple of Yetis and 3 witches to set up a clean funnel, just enough to guide the rest of the troops into the base. Once the funnel is ready, use super wall breakers on either side to crack open the first layer of walls. Now it's time to send in the main push. Deploy the remaining Yetis straight through the middle, followed by witches and ice column. Drop a log launcher to carve a path forward, then bring in your heroes. Drop reach spells early to power your troops, and use freeze spells to shut down splash damage defenses like Infernos and Scatter Shots. Use the Warden's ability at the right moment to protect the log launcher and your main army from heavy damage. Throw poison on the enemy clan castle troops, and send in the RC from a separate angle. Hold on to her ability for now and pop it once she loses tanking. As you approach the town hall, drop another rage and activate the Barbarian King's ability to clear surrounding defenses. Use a freeze spell directly on the town hall to secure the takedown easily. You can use final spells on your heroes to help them push through, or if the base is already crumbling, you can swag them. If needed, use the Archer Queen's ability to provide extra cross tanking, supporting her along with the Royal Champion. And that wraps up our strategy number 5 on our list, the simple but powerful Yeti Witch spam. Next, we have a non-super troop strategy that absolutely wrecks bases, the Electro Titans. There are super wall breakers in the army, but they are completely optional. The attack begins with the Warden Walk. You can use the Royal Champion to make the way here, but with the recent Springtrap changes, Warden walks have become slightly more efficient, even if the margin isn't huge. I'm pairing the Yak with the Warden here because it speeds up the walk significantly. The Yak will eventually go down, but before that it tanks really well and deals good damage to nearby structures, especially enemy heroes. If needed, use multiple reach spells, though not more than 2. It will keep your spells in balance for the rest of the attack. The goal of the Warden walk is to create the funnel, but if you can grab key defenses like the Eagle, that's always a big bonus. Once the funnel is ready, begin the main push with an Ice Column, followed by Electro Titans. To create the funnel on the opposite side, use a Valkyrie paired with the Siege Barrack, a very effective combo. In this case, I dropped the King slightly to the left, so he will walk out, but this actually gives us a chance to show you how to pull back the attack if this happens. Use super wall breakers to open the first layer of walls and drop the poison spell when the enemy clan castle troops come out. Regular wall breakers can work too, but they will need proper tanking. Alternatively, you can skip that and just use a jump spell instead. Now send in your support troops, Headhunters and Apprentice Warden right behind your main army. At this point, have your spells ready for the next phase. Use the jump spell to guide the Electro Titans deeper into the core. When you hit a destructive compartment, drop a reach spell to power through. I'll pop the King's ability on the flank to open the path with his Earthquake Boots, while using the Warden's ability to protect the Titans as they push through the town hall. Now deploy the RC from a different angle, targeting a key section of the base. You can use her ability if needed, but in this case I'll swag it. Freeze strong defenses like Monolith to keep your Titans alive during the final push. The Royal Champion comes in clutch to clean up back-end defenses, exactly where the rest of the army struggles to get in. And that wraps up strategy number 4. Now let's move on to number 3 on our list. For the next one, we have got Super Polar Army, and this combination hits hard. Let's see exactly what it can do. We'll begin with the Warden Walk, keeping things simple, no fireball. The Yak will once again go with the Warden, and as you can see, it does a really good job in making the funnel faster. The extra tanking and firepower makes a huge difference. If there are enemy heroes nearby, deploy Headhunters to take them down quickly. I'll use a reach spell here to help the Warden grab the Eagle Artillery faster so we can start the main push. But remember, the primary goal of the Warden Walk is always funneling, and taking down defenses is secondary. Once the funnel is set, it's time for the main push. Start with an Ice Column, then drop your Super Bowlers right behind. To create the funnel on the opposite side, use the Valkyrie plus Siege Barrack combo again. It is a great way to keep your army centered. Later, you can join the RC with the Pekkas for extra punch. Use super wall breakers to open the path for the super bowlers. You may need multiple depending on the wall layout. Now send in the king and queen with the main push once you are sure they will go in. Drop a free spell on the scatter shot and the enemy queen to protect your troops, and make sure the enemy queen does not attract the super bowlers. Have a jump spell ready, you will need it to guide the army deeper into the base. Place it to give your troops access to the core. Raise your main army as it approaches the town hall, and don't forget to poison the enemy CC. Freeze high value defenses like the monolith to minimize damage. Use the warden's ability to shield your troops from heavy fire, and deploy the royal champion from a different angle. Her goal is to clear the section that your main army will skip. Pop her ability early to get things done quickly. And by this point, most of the heavy lifting is already done. Use your king to open the back-end compartments. You can pop the queen's ability for faster cleanup or use it in the core for extra firepower. Finally, drop your remaining spells to support your royal champion or swag them if the base is already crushed. And that wraps up number 3 on our list. Now let's move on to number 2. Next up, we have the Super Witches, a strategy that works really nice against almost all type of bases. We'll begin with the royal champion to create the funnel. Not the usual walk, just throw her rocket spears to clear out key defenses and open the path for the main army. After throwing her spears, make her invisible to extend the value. Remember, taking out defenses isn't the main objective here. The priority is setting a proper funnel. If she manages to grab a few defenses along the way, that's a bonus. Once she has done her job, recall her to use her later in the attack. Now on the top right side, start the funnel with the warden. Pair this setup with the siege barrack to cut the funnel a bit further. The warden might follow the Pekkas for now, but he usually comes back later. Deploy your super witches with the king, queen and the recalled royal champion. It will form the main push. Include support troops such as Ice Golem and Apprentice Warden for extra value. Use the reach spell at the entry point to boost your troops. And open the first layer of walls with Super Wall Breaker. Depending on the base layout, you might need to use a second one. Once the Pekkas go down, the warden will rejoin the group. Now drop a jump spell to guide your army deeper into the base. And save the king's ability for the town hall section. Pop the king's ability to trigger the massive earthquake damage and open the next section of the base. At this point, it's also a good time to use a rage spell and activate the warden's ability to protect your troops from the heavy damage. Don't forget to poison the enemy CC, especially if they are on the opposite side of the base. Use freeze spells on the remaining single infernos and pop the queen's ability when needed to speed up cleanup. And just like that, enjoy your 3 stars with the number 2 strategy on our list. Now let's move on to the number 1 attack strategy for Town Hall 15. Now, taking the top spot, we have the Root Riders. This setup works even better without the minion prince, and this version is quite different from the typical Root Rider attack. We'll start with the Warden Walk, paired with the Yak. Let him work here for a while, and carve out a section of the base. From the opposite side, we'll set up the funnel with the Royal Champion. Her rocket spears are the highlight here. We'll be recalling her soon after she sets a clean funnel. Once the expo is down, recall her along with the Diggy to bring them back for the main push. This funnel doesn't need to be perfect, just enough to guide your main army. Now send in the Root Riders with all your heroes and support troops like Headhunters and Apprentice Warden. Once the outer trash buildings are cleared, you can even drop the Valkyries in here. And in this version, the Siege Barrack also joins the main push instead of going on the side. Drop a rage spell right at the entry to supercharge your Root Riders. This is a pure spam version, but it's extremely powerful. Use the Warden's ability as the army pushes into the core and freeze the single infernos just before the ability fades. You can send in the recalled Royal Champion either with the main army or from a different angle depending on the base layout. Keep your rages rolling to sustain pressure. Use poison on enemy clan castle troops and freeze any high damage defenses like the singles or scatter shots if necessary. We have got plenty of spell support in this attack. Approaching the town hall, make sure to freeze it and reach your troops to finish it quickly. If you haven't already, pop the king's ability here. It will wipe out back-end structures and open the way for the other troops smoothly. You might notice I accidentally brought a super wall breaker, but honestly it's not needed for this strategy. This version of Root Rider is straightforward, reliable and can crush every base. It feels like classic witch spam from Town Hall 9, but much stronger. Dragons could have easily shared the number 1 spot, but I'm still testing a few variations with them, so expect a different video on that soon. This video was a suggestion by you guys, so if you have got any more, then please drop that in the comments. And if enough people comment, I'll make that happen. That being said, these are the top 15 attack strategies after the Springtrap update. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and share your favorite strategy in the comments. I'll link a video to watch next, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.